In today's video, we are going to go over my process for making a beat through a beat making checklist. Let's go, 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 go. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, welcome. I encourage you to subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and of course, give this video a thumbs up so other people can see this video and be like, damn, this is actually pretty cool. Guys, in today's video, we are going to go through my beat making process, and I'm going to share with you guys my beat making checklist so you guys can be more efficient, you can be more productive, and you don't get discouraged when you're staring at the computer for too long and you're like, my eyes hurt, I'm bored, I'm hungry. Now, the reason why I decided to share this with you guys is because a couple of weeks ago, I noticed that I was recording a video for the channel, and I was just like, oh, let's make a beat. And I shit you not, it took me like 30 minutes to just come up with the first loop. And from those 30 minutes, half of that time I spent looking for sounds. And I was just like, this is not a way to get work done. It feels like I'm taking too much time to do stupid shit. So I decided that I was going to create a process for me that would allow me to be a little more organized. So that way I'm running out of excuses for why I can't do what I love. So as far as the beat making process goes for moi, I start off with number one. I actually learned this from Timbaland. I actually shared it in one of my previous videos, and I'm gonna put that bitch in the card right there. I think I got it right. So you guys can check it out, and the first thing we do is we actually start humming the melody or beatboxing it, and usually I'll do that and I'll record it on the Voice Memo app on my phone, and I'll be like, this sounds good, and I'll beatbox it, I'll record it, and I'll play it back, and then I will do my best to recreate that sound in the DAW. And this is before we even open up our laptop. The next thing you're gonna want to do once you have an idea of what you want to sound, your beat to sound like, because let's be honest, like for me, for the longest time, I was under the impression that I was a prodigy, and I was just gonna like, put my fingers to the keys and like, boom, like a beat came out like a banger. That's not true. You have to feel it. You have to think of something. So the next thing you want to do once you've taken care of that is you want to create a drum rack, and this one is highly recommended. This one is imperative because if you guys start, the more you start making beats, you start collecting sound kits, you start collecting samples, start collecting drum kits, and it just starts accumulating, and it's just like you're trying to find the perfect snare for a beat, and you have 300 snares you have to go through. It's gonna take you a long time. By the time you get to the one you found, and the next time you make a beat, you're gonna have to do that every single time, and you have to do it for every single beat you make. It's taking up too much time. So what I highly recommend is you create a specific drum rack with sounds that you particularly like, and let's be honest, the object of the game is to eventually start building your own unique sound. You're like, okay, I'm known for this snare, I'm known for this clap, I'm known for this kick, I'm known for this 808, I'm known for this like piano, like Scott Storch. So create a drum rack that you really fond of, and then just have your kick, your snare, your hi-hat, your claps, all that good stuff, and then just have maybe create like two. And then as you go along with Ableton, the cool thing is that if you want to switch one out, all you have to do is click and drag. So you can just switch one out instead of having to say, okay, I have to find the perfect kick, I have to find the perfect snare, and then searching. No, you're wasting too much time. So do that, and I guarantee you it's gonna help you be a lot more efficient than going through every single sound until you find the perfect one for you. So once you created your drum rack, the next thing on the list is to find your sound, your sample or your instrument, whatever it is that you are going to use to create a melody that is going to go on your beat. So for this one, obviously this one's actually going to take a little more. This one actually does take time, but this is the next step in the process. So make sure you find something that you fill in, whatever, and then you label it, and then yeah, just work from there. I'm done with the haters, I'm done with the non-believers, I'm done with the busters that don't have my lifestyle profile, Jesus, ayy. But that's not gonna happen tonight, and it ain't gonna happen today, ayy. Okay. Once you've decided on your sample, your sound, your instrument, the next thing is to decide on your set your BPM and your beats per minute. Obviously, it's your flow. It depends on what you want to do. If you're using a sample, it's always recommended to use the BPM the sample's on. But one thing I learned from Cymatics, you guys should check out their YouTube channel. They're awesome, very informative, is the beatbox, the melody, the hum that you created in your mind. You can play it back, and then you just use the tap feature on your DAW, and then it's going to show you, if you tap to the rhythm, it's going to tell you what BPM it's at. All right, so the next step, once you've set your BPM, is to actually start creating your loop. And this is what the entirety of most of the song is going to sound like. Most of the beat is going to sound like. And some people start with a melody or a drum. I usually start with a drum pattern. So create your drum pattern, see how that sounds like. And then once you created your perfect loop, and then the next step, what I like to do is actually create the intro to the song. And this is usually like 4 to 8 bars. You know, it's just like get you in the mood, get you a feel for the song. And the way I work it is I'll start with like the first 4 usually be just like the melody or maybe the drums. And then you start introducing one by one, because it's kind of like sex where you don't want to just, you know, put all your cards on the table at one time. You want to kind of like ease into it. You know, a beat should be like foreplay, just like smooth into it, just little by little. Step 1, step 2, step 3, until you work your way up into the climax, which is usually the hook, which is just like bam. Once that's done, what I like to do is that loop I've created with the drums, you know, my hi-hats, my kicks, my snares, my claps, what have you, and my melody. What I like to do is I'll just drag it all the way across for the duration of what I want the beat to be, which usually be like anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes. And then what I do there is that I'll go back and I'll play it back, I'll listen to it, and I'm just like, okay, so, you know, we have every 4 to 8 bars. Let's see how we can switch it up so it sounds different. And this is something that I've learned, because obviously you don't want the same thing for a whole 3 minutes, just to hear the same thing over and over again, and there's no change, because it becomes stagnant and people are just like, this is kind of boring. So yeah, so what you do is, what I do is every 4 to 8 bars, you're like, okay, well, how can we switch this up? Can we speed up the melody? Let's, you know, let's make the claps a little unique. Let's make the hi-hats a little unique. Let's take out the hi-hats. Let's take out this. Let's add this, 808s, all that good stuff. This needs to be bumping. Let's add a counter melody, all that good stuff. And then you put it all together, and you're like, okay, when it leads up to the climax, like I said earlier, which is the hook, let's lead to that. Some people will do like a reverse open hi-hat, like that shit's pretty dope all the time. But you just want that anticipation that the song is gonna get better and you're gonna get hype. So that's something that you can actually do, like I said, every 4 to 8 bars, so the beat doesn't become way too repetitive. Okay, so once all that is complete, you have all that put together, and you've tweaked your beat to whatever you want it to sound like, this is when you start actually focusing on like volumes and tones and pitch and all that stuff. And that's pretty much it. From there, the next step is obviously export your beat. One thing that I have learned is that you can't overcrowd your beat, because you have to keep in mind that the beat is meant for someone to rap over or sing over. And if there's too much beat going on, like it's too cluttered, then it's kind of like jump rope, where the artist isn't going to know where to jump in. And it's happened to me where I create a beat, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just like, okay, so let's write something to it. I'm just like, when is the perfect time? It's just like, that just doesn't make sense. So you gotta think about that. And that's pretty much it. The next step is probably obviously to like sell it to someone, give it away for free, get some feedback. Always ask for feedback, because that's how you get better. You guys notice that I do it in my videos. Some people are like, yo, your beats are trash. Some people are like, yo, your beats are fire. I'm just like, whether you think they're good or you think they're bad, I really would appreciate if you let me know why, so I can focus on getting better. Yeah, so guys, it's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you got some knowledge from this. Let me know if you guys want me to drop a PDF with my beat making checklist of everything I mentioned in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And once again, do not sleep on me, baby. Later.